everybody. Welcome back to the Double Your Sales Now show. Today, it's a solo show. Yep, it's just us. And I'm going to be sharing from my book, Selling with Synchronicity, the 7 inner shifts that make selling fun and easy. I'm really excited to share this. And we've talked about some of the other books and some of the content, and I love giving you this information because I think now more than ever, we need to be uplifted, we need to be inspired, we need to be motivated to keep going, especially in this uncertain time. So I invite you to grab a piece of paper and a pen and to take some notes so that you can take some immediate action after this, and inspired action, which we'll talk about. So a couple of housekeeping things. If you haven't yet, go to salescoachnow.com/gift. We have a PDF there for you. It's very simple, very easy, which I love. It's a 1-pager, and you can just print it out, and it's all about how to double your sales now, how to really take your business to the next level. If you're looking for more support, if you're looking for sales training, because you are part of our community, you receive a super special gift. You can go and email us at contact@salescoachnow.com, and we give you a very special price to come to our virtual sales camp class. Now, if your business is in the 6 figures and you're looking to scale, I want to invite you to learn more about our new class. And the new class is called the 2X Intensive. And it's all about taking that quantum leap to get to the next level in your business. And the 2X Intensive, if you'd like to learn more, you can go to salescoachnow.com/apply. And there's details there on what you need to do to send us your information. Then we can get you more information about the 2X. We'd love to play with you. All right, with that, I think a lot of you know a lot about me, you know about my background. I started out in sales, and I went from being an outside sales professional to being a branch manager, to being a regional branch manager, to being an executive vice president, and then being president of a company at the age of 27 when the company was around 20 million. And I share that with you not to say, look what I did. I share it with you because I learned how to sell, but I discovered how to sell in a way that felt comfortable, that felt authentic, and that allowed me to come from a place of solving people's problems. And when I did that, my sales skyrocketed, and I started to teach all of our sales reps the same things, how to sell with intention to get to the next level. Now, if you haven't listened to that podcast yet, that episode, I definitely invite you to go back and listen to it as I talk about how to sell with intention. This is that next level. This is for business owners and sales, and professional salespeople who want to shift how they're selling. And so much of selling is about your inner mindset shifts, not so much strategy. And I think that's one of the hardest things I've had to help people overcome is to move away from, Ursula, teach me more sales strategy, to, Ursula, let's work on my mindset. Let's work on my beliefs about what's possible for me. And I share that with you because that's where I've spent so much of my time studying the subconscious mind, studying beliefs, studying, what makes people tick? Why do we act in a certain way? Why do we act from a certain place? Why do certain things trigger us, but they don't trigger other people, right? And so many of our clients will find that, especially our coaching clients, when they first start working with us, we begin with sales strategy, how to double their sales. But even within that, we talk about mindset. What do they believe about salespeople? What do they believe about money? What do they believe about having more money? There's so much of that that's tied up in it. And then we start to bust through that, and our clients start to double, triple their sales. They get to the next level. The next thing that pops up, though, is scaling. Who am I to have that size of business? I don't know how to manage people. I don't have enough money to hire, right? All those limiting beliefs start to pop up. So we start to help people through that mindset piece. And eventually, they get to that multi-6, 7-figure business or beyond. And they hire us again. We have clients who've hired us 5 or 6 times in different ways through our training and through our coaching programs. And by the time we're working with them at that level, then it's almost all mindset. Rebecca Hall and I, the master coach at Sales Coach Now, she and I talk a lot about that idea that so much of the work we do with clients we've worked with for a long time is about mindset. And it's not about strategy anymore, which is very interesting if you think about it. And what we've discovered is that at that level, right, you know the strategy, you've worked on those limiting beliefs. Then it's just about how you're hitting your next upper limits and what you need to move through that. And often it's just identifying what those upper limits are and what's showing up for you now. So wherever you are in your business right now, it doesn't matter. I want you to listen from where you are and what you're supposed to hear, because that's the other thing is so many of our clients will say, I came to this class X amount of times and I never heard you say that one thing that you said today. Well, I said it, but they didn't hear it because they weren't ready to hear it. So we always get what we're ready for. I always get what I'm ready for and what I'm able to hear. And as frustrating that can be, that's why it's so important to stay in this work and keep working on yourself and keep working on, letting go of those barriers and the blocks that might be getting you right, but also not getting obsessed with those, right? At some point, you kind of got to quantum leap over that, over like the stuckedness, and move into that next level. You've heard me talk about Price Pritchett's book, The Quantum Leap Strategy. And I feel compelled, I felt like this was a piece I wanted to share before we dive into the 7 inner shifts. He says in his book, let me share with you an old secret about breakthroughs. Consider trying easier. Relax, take the pressure off, try a new twist. Does that speak to you? It certainly speaks to me. I grew up working really hard, like physically hard. I grew up on a farm. So everything we did, we worked hard. And that was just what was kind of drilled into me. Like success was hard work. And what I learned over time is, sure, there can be a hustle, there can be a focus, but it's never about like when I feel like I'm pushing boulders up hills, when I'm working too hard, something is off. And often I know I have to take a break. I have to, move away from work. I have to get out of the way because my team, everybody, there's things that are happening in the unseen. There's things that are happening behind me. And I just have to let those things work themselves out so that I can let go and receive, and you can let go and receive. So part of today, I think, is really taking a breath and listening to this, you're here for a reason, and really just letting go of your to-do list, letting go of the shoulds, letting go of all of those pieces, and thinking about how you could sell with synchronicity. Because again, that's what we're talking about, selling with synchronicity, the 7 inner shifts that make selling fun and easy. Okay, so we're going to go through those shifts really quickly. I do want to thank all of our sponsors who have been supporting us in many different ways. If you haven't yet checked it out, Steve Miska, I interviewed him in the July timeframe, and Steve runs a nonpartisan nonprofit called First Amendment Voice. And they're hosting their annual now virtual symposium in September. We are offering, because of our partnership and our sponsorship, free attendance for all of our listeners. So simply go to the registration page, which is in the show notes, and use the promo code DYSN. You also get a free year's membership and the possibility to attend a difficult conversations workshop with me, all for free. So check it out there, and it's all in the show notes, and you can come and play with us. And the reason I decided to sponsor and be a sponsor with First Amendment Voice in their symposium is because of all the stuff that's happening in the world right now, especially in the United States. We're in an election year, and it's easy to have to not have productive conversations with each other. And I wanted to be part of the solution of coming to the table, no matter what our beliefs are, and having conversations and remembering that we're all in this together. As Steve said so beautifully on the podcast, right? At the end of the day, we are more alike than we are different. I think it's important to remember that. And for our listeners all over the world, you're welcome to join us as well. You don't have to be from the United States, so you can check out that event and what we're up to there. So with that, I'm going to jump into the content today. And I do hope this inspires you in a new way. I hope it motivates you to try something different, to try a spin, to try something different. So I'm going to go through the 7 shifts, the 7 inner shifts that really can make selling fun and easy, right? Isn't that why we're in this? We're not in this we didn't start our own businesses or get into sales so that we could work all the time and complain about it. And I've been there. And sometimes I go back there and I forget why I do this. I will tell you that coming from me, being on the show, being on the podcast and connecting with you is one of the things that I love so much in my business. And it's one of the things that keeps me inspired and keeps me motivated and reminds me why I do this, why I'm in this world. So thank you. Thank you for being part of our community and one of our listeners. Shift number 1 is the quantum shift. I love, when I look back at the books that I've written, I love to go back and think about why I started with that one. And the truth is, if you study quantum physics or if you study metaphysics, you start to see that there could be an easier way, right? There could be a simpler way. And I believe in quantum leaps. I believe in leaping from here to here versus taking small steps along the way to get there. I believe that when you leap, you don't have to know the how. You can just have the end result, the goal that you want to achieve in mind, and then watch what shows up in front of you. So with each one of these, I'm going to give you a little mini assignment to keep you excited and keep you going. The quantum shift for you could be creating a revenue goal that seems kind of unbelievable. In our world, we call that 2Xing. Doubling your sales could feel like, that could seem impossible to you and yet be right around the corner. So, or it could be writing that first book or starting a podcast or whatever it might be. I was going to have a little drink here. So what's your quantum dream right now? What is it that you desire that pops up in your head? And I invite you to write it down. If it's a revenue goal, a sales goal, great. If it's doubling your sales, we want to play with you there. That's why you listen to the Double Your Sales Now show, right? Because you want a 2X. So it's going to give you a second, and I want you to write down your goal. Okay. Good. Now, I know some of you are back at the gym now and probably listening to this on a treadmill. So I get that you're not taking notes, you're taking mental notes. And I just want to give you a shout out because I know some of you are only listening on your treadmill and I love it. Or maybe it's your stationary bike. So hello. Shift number 2 is the clarity shift. So we move from the quantum of, if I could take a quantum leap, what could that look like, to the clarity shift. And that next shift is really about making a decision. So if you're going to 2X your sales, it's saying, yes, I'm all in. I'm clear. This is the number. I've written it down. In the 2X intensive, we create what I call a model month template. So we nail down exactly what you'd have to do, to make that quantum jump in terms of how many clients or how many customers I would need, how many things I need to sell in each one. We break it down to the ridiculous, like how many appointments I would need to reach, this amount of people, how many calls I'd have to have, what's the marketing behind it, right? So all of those pieces to give you the exact clarity to figure it out. So for you, I want you to dig down into if it's a 2X, who could you get in front of? Who would these numbers, where would these numbers come from? And what happens is you start to get creative. One of the favorite exercises that I love to do with our clients is to answer this question: what is the fastest and easiest way to reach my stretch goal? And Brian Tracy, sales expert, and others in this field have come up before me with the idea of coming up with 50 ideas. So when we do this exercise and we ask that question, what's the fastest and easiest way to get there? Our intention is to come up with 50 ideas, because once you get 50 ideas, there is gold in that list. I still do that all the time. Like, I love coming up with a list of 50 ideas because there's things in there that I haven't thought about. And all of a sudden I start to see a different way. The other thing that'll happen is you'll get like your top 10 ideas from this list, and then you can strategize and take it down to your top 5 ideas. So I just want to encourage you to do that. So go from figuring out your quantum goal to how you would break it down in terms of like, how many clients do I need? How many appointments? And then ask that question: what's the fastest and easiest way to get there? Come up with 50 ideas. I guarantee you, when you do that exercise, you're going to come up with amazing ideas in that list. There's gold in that list. All right. Shift number 3, the self-belief shift. The self-belief shift. There's this little thing called imposter syndrome. And if you've been a long-time podcast listener of this show, we talk about it a lot. And a lot of the people that we have come on the show talk about it. And these are people who built multi-6, 7-figure businesses. And they still have imposter syndrome. They still think someone's going to come up and say, you're not good enough. Who are you to do this, right? Or they believe in they think to themselves, who am I? I'm not enough. I can't do this. I don't have enough certifications. I don't have enough training. I can't tell you how many clients have come to me and said, Ursula, I think I'm going to get this one more certification, or I'm going to go get this other degree. And while I believe in degrees and certifications, I think there's a place for them. I don't think having millions of them is going to serve you. I shouldn't say millions, I'm exaggerating. I don't think you need 10 certifications in the same thing. Get one certification that will really serve you, the one you really want, if you feel like you need it. But don't overdo it, because it goes back to you believing you are enough. you believing that you're more than enough and that you have the skills and the certification and the things you need. The other thing is, like, sometimes we think we have to be, PhDs or double PhDs in some field. Well, a lot of times there isn't a double PhD, and often it's our life experiences, it's our work experiences that have brought us where we are. I mean, there is no degree for my 20 plus years of sales experience or sales management experience. There's not a degree for that, right? I have been through all of these experiences. I've had all this training, I've had all this real world experience, and that's what my clients want. Even in the tech world, when I was selling technology training and consulting, people didn't want, like, our clients didn't want trainers with a bunch of certifications. They wanted the certification or, one or two, great. So I know you have that level of knowledge, but what they were most curious about was their real world experience. They wanted consultants and trainers who had 15, 20, 25 years of real world. That's what they wanted. That's what they were buying. So don't underestimate the power of your real world experience across the board, okay? And move from, am I enough? Do I have enough? To simply saying, I am more than enough. I am more than enough. I have more than enough knowledge and experience to help these clients. And often when our clients start to move into that space, they start to surprise themselves, because part of it is once you acknowledge your personal genius, your personal experience, you start to own it in a different way. So I just want to encourage you to step into that. I am more than enough. I can take this to the next level. I know how to do this, whatever it might be. Once you have set the goal, you have clarity, you've broken it down, you can see how you could get there. You're working on your belief in yourself. I am enough. You're acknowledging that. Shift number 4 is to take bold and inspired action. Bold and inspired action. And this is where I want you to write down just a couple steps, okay? So this is tricky because I am a doer. Some would say I'm a hustler. Like, I like to keep things moving. I like to know the next step. If you come to my house, I like it to be super clean and organized all the time, to the point where you might say I have a little OCD. And it's just, I like momentum. That can hurt what you're trying to create, because if you're always in doing mode, you're never in receiving mode. And that has been one of the lessons that I've learned throughout my own career is to think of an infinity symbol. It's why I have it on the cover of Selling with Synchronicity. The infinity symbol is an 8 on its side, right? And if you think about how the energy moves, right, it goes out and it comes back in. It goes out and it comes back in. And often our receivers are broken. So our doers, like, we can, as entrepreneurs, we can go all day long. We can do that thing. We can take those steps. That's not a problem. Do it. Keep it going. But the receiving, the flow back gets stagnant. And so that I wanted to say that before I say take bold and inspired action, because I don't want you to get stuck on, I'm taking bold and inspired action and that's all I'm doing, because that's not going to get you there. Okay. It's almost an intuitive art, right? Like listening, I believe in divine downloads. I believe we're always getting ideas. So listening for the inspired ideas that are coming in, taking action, but then also pulling back. Don't stay in action all the time. Like, you've got to have that ebb of action and receiving, and watch for it, right? So when you put something out there, something's going to come back. So if you're trying to sell something and you put some calls out there and you put, you do your marketing, you're putting things out there, watch what's coming back. What I find very interesting, and I think this is going into the quantum realm, is sometimes I'm putting a lot over here, but what's coming back is coming back from over here. And yet I'm still getting to my goal. Does that make sense? So take inspired action, but don't block what's trying to get to you. So that's my encouragement to you, okay, is to step into it, but then pull back and follow that inspired movement, okay? Shift number 5, the core community shift, is the next one that is really important. So this is about who's in your realm, who's in your community, who are you hanging out with, right? And this is one way you can really make a big quantum leap in what you're doing, because for many of us, we're often not hanging out with the people we should be hanging out with, right? There are people that could, like one person who could take your business and help you make a quantum leap. And that could be in the form of an affiliate partner. It could be in the form of a strategic business partner who shares, like whose clients are just like yours, right? And if you start working together and partnering together, all of a sudden you could double your business from that. In fact, there are statistics out there that say if you have 3 strong referral partners, meaning you refer back and forth a lot of prospects, you could double your business from that. So it's also the core community shift is also about your clients. Like who are your top 20%? You're not here to work with everybody. Your business isn't for everyone, and that's okay. So part of it is to let go of the belief that you're here to help everyone and shift into who is my top 20% and really own that. Okay. Shift number 6, the money shift. Money. Oh, we could spend a whole day on this one, right? Here's the piece where the money shift can show up. It can show up in how much you charge. What are your fees, right? How much do you charge for your services? Are you priced correctly? Do you wish you could charge more? So often we find that our service-based businesses, can double their fees and get to the next level. And we've had other clients who offer products and they've had to go and double their prices as well. So how does this show up for you, right? Like what could you shift around money that would help more money come in? It also shows up in how we invest in ourselves and our businesses. Oh, and this is a big one. And I see this happen a lot where we meet people in our community all the time. They're very interested in working with us. And then they get stopped because they don't invest in the training or they're afraid to invest in the coaching. When you feel the pull to invest in something for your business, I truly believe that it's pulling you to the next level. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be a little scary. It doesn't mean that it's not a stretch for you. Every time I know that I've invested in my business or in myself, it's taken me somewhere else. Not in a perfect line. I don't always get what I thought I was going to get. Sometimes I get something very different that I needed that I didn't even know I need. But it's paying attention to the call to invest in yourself and in your business and to go to that next level. So just pay attention to what is showing up for you around money. Do you spend money on yourself? Do you invest in your business? Like, what do you invest in? For me, for a long time, it was really easy to invest in the business, but it wasn't like I didn't invest in things myself. I was raised very frugal, didn't have a lot of things growing up. So there was a lot of guilt around buying something for myself. And this just, is something that isn't necessary. So work on those pieces that show up for you to make sure that whatever you need to shift around money, you do shift. And there's so many books out there. One of my favorite books that I read in the beginning of my own business, when I started my own business, and actually went to his workshop, was Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Some of you are laughing because you remember, you probably went to the live seminar. Like you remember, you get up and you chant all these things and you say these new affirmations and you would do these crazy activities around money. And I'm not going to share those in case you end up going to one of those events someday. But it helped me break through some of my barriers around money. So spend some time working on your money. Another book that I recommend, I'm looking back at my bookshelf, is The Energy of Money by I think it's Maria Nemeth. It's up there. Yes, Maria Nemeth, The Energy of Money. That's a really good one to look at how you energetically interact with your money and how that's affecting you personally and in your business. What I'll leave you with around money is that money loves a plan. We help our clients create projections and revenue models so they can tell their money where to go. And I just want you to know that I want you to know how important that is for you, because knowing where your money is coming from is so important. And finally, the faith shift. I want to encourage you to step into your greatest faith. Like, what is Where is your business taking you? Where do you want to go with your business? What do you believe about it, right? I want you to keep your faith so strong and your belief in your business and your belief that you can succeed so strong that no matter what happens, you can get to that next level. All right, so those were the 7 inner shifts that make selling fun and easy. And again, we were talking about selling with synchronicity today. I just want to thank you for coming out and sharing this information. I hope you took lots of notes, and I want to encourage you to take a couple steps. But don't work super hard, right? Just take those steps that are in front of you. That's it for now, everybody. Take care. Make this your best month yet.